People, DG, I'm back again. Obviously, different location. I'm in the staff room at work, taking that risk. Vid's got to get made, people, in any location. And I thought, you know what? There's a window here to make a vid. It's kind of quiet. Let me do what I can. Taking that risk. Anyone can come in at any moment, but it is what it is. Earpods are in. It looks like I'm in the conversation. But moving forward, people, I wanted to speak about Lacazette because I think it's an interesting debate. Should we sell Lacazette? Should we keep him? Obviously, that sentence there, you've probably subconsciously either said, DG, you're an idiot for even suggesting that, or yeah, we should sell him. And I think it's an interesting debate, and there's no rights and wrongs. And it's one that really goes against my own bias, car. For me, can't speak for everyone, Lacazette's a bad boy footballer. Do I think he's a quality footballer? Do I think he's necessarily in the elite bracket of footballer? No, but I love his technical ability. He's strong, he's passionate, and I'm a passing merchant when football comes to its core, so I like that. Obviously, he's not got the most prolific of records, and I believe that's my biggest pet peeve with him, which we'll get onto, but he's a good player. And obviously, why I go at this is because when you say, I think even I feel guilty of it, and I had to look at the own things I was saying, people. It's like big games, Lacazette, big games. It's like, okay, cool, I'm saying he's a big game player, but should we really scrutinise his performances in big games? Creativity and what he gives to the team beyond being a striker. We know stats don't do him justice, but give or take, he should be scoring 20 league goals. And is his creativity or his technical ability to the level where we can look at it and say, yeah, it's great, but because he's doing that, he doesn't necessarily have to score goals? I wouldn't say that's necessarily the case. And in an ideal team where creativity is not an issue, should we really be relying on our strikers to get creativity? I know it's a bonus and Lacazette's skill set is tailored to that, but I'm saying if the team was patterned and we could create chances and do things, would we be harping on about that? We say he's a big game player, and again, I think stats don't do him justice. All of the things, big game player, all of these things I agree with. But when you look at the statements, it does throw up eyes for debate. So I've tried to do pros and cons, people. Now, it's so important to remember he was player of the season last season, and he has had 2 injuries this year. He's had the injury, the recent one, and I swear at the start of the season he had a little knock. When he came back from his first initial injury, did he not have 2 goals in 3 appearances? Since he's coming back from this latest one, he's yet to bag, and I think he was poor at Sheffield United. I think he was the poorest I've seen him this season against Leicester. So yeah, it's interesting. This season in 9 games, he's only got 2 goals, 1 assist, people. Last season, he had a fairly decent record. But if we're honest and we look at his record at Arsenal, he's got 19 assists and 38 goals in 97 games. That's a good record. And again, his creativity, we know there was times Lacazette weren't starting, he's being subbed, and he's a good player. But 19 assists, is that really, okay, his creativity is to the point where we can build him into that? I feel Lacazette's a good player. I feel you should have ideally 2 strikers in the squad that can score goals, in which Lacazette and Aubameyang are. Then you have the wingers. Some games I do believe you should play both of them up front. They play well together. But there is the debate to be said that there's a lack of balance within the side with the front 3 when both of them are playing, or it's a bit of give and take. One of them isn't necessarily going to be in areas in the side. I would say Aubameyang striker, Lacazette's the better player, but Aubameyang is the better striker, so by that logic I guess he's the better player. So what I'm getting at is Lacazette would probably be the secondary guy. In an ideal squad, I'm sure even Klopp would want it. You'd have a top number 9, I know Origi does his thing, but you'd have a top striker or a striker that can get a healthy amount of goals. You have, obviously, let's just say Firmino in their case, but in Arsenal's case, you'd have 2 good strikers that can fill the void, and then you'd have the wingers. Equally, I do believe you should go through the middle with 1 striker and 2 wingers. So it's interesting. I must admit, people, I do think he's a very good creative player and one of the most creative in our side. But is his creativity of the level where it's like, okay, cool, we can build him into that role? I do think he gives us options and whatnot. Well, it is what it is. Looking at the pros and cons, people, as well, it's like he's got 6 goals in 26 games versus the big 6. Again, it's not always about goals and assists when talking about performances. But again, I'm the one screaming big game player myself. Do I really have a leg to stand on? Away from home, he does have issues scoring as well. I ain't got the statistics to hand. But for context, people say Aubameyang needs to do more in big games, myself included, but he's got 6 in 18. Again, stats can be manipulated either way. But I like Lacazette, man. I think he's a good player. If he wants to leave, then I'm at the point where if I was ever one of them, I'd keep it moving. But if they want to leave, let them leave. Let him, Torreira, whatever leave, Ozil looks to be going through the door. Whoever wants to go, I don't mind starting again, people. Of course, personally, it would hurt to start again and be another failed project, but fundamentally, you want players who want to be at this club. And if I'm Laka, Aubameyang, probably Torreira as well, I don't believe I can necessarily win things and do things of significance at this club. So yeah, there is the debate to be said. You persist with Aubameyang, at least for the next 2-3 years until he stops scoring. Someone that gets 20 league goals. You go out and get either a left, well, we signed Pepe on the right, but you go and get a top quality winger of stature. And then we could look to kind of follow the model in which Liverpool have in that. Obviously, they don't have an out-and-out striker of such, but you'd have Aubameyang, 2 wingers, there'd be greater balance. But I'd still want a striker of significance into the side. So if Laka was sold, I'd want Eddie or someone. If we're going to buy a striker or give Eddie and Tyrese chances, we'd need that option of someone in the squad. I think Lacazette is the secondary striker when it comes to it, but his qualities that he gives to the team cannot be understated. I think you can move forward with him. In relation to Lacazette's price tag, would you say he's justified his price tag? You could say yes, you could say no. You are wanting a bit more from Lacazette, but I do think he's been a big player since he's come here and he's done his thing. For me, 20 league goals, whatever way you shape it, people, I think Lacazette is good enough to get 20 league goals. A lot of people in my comments say, oh, what about Firmino? I think Firmino's good enough to get 20 league goals. Whatever way we shape it, strikers, in Lacazette's case, are judged on goals. That's all they're going to be remembered on. I'm not saying that's all that they should have to their game, but no one can tell me Lacazette is not good enough to get 20 league goals. And I swear he's got 1 year longer on his deal, people. So there is a logic to be said, get rid of Aubameyang, 70-odd million. The same logic, bring in a winger and have Lacazette. But if Lacazette is the primary striker and almost the only senior striker, would you guys have confidence that Lacazette is able to get 20 league goals and return a healthy goal return to get us top 4 or whatever we're trying to do in the season? I do think Lacazette's got it in him. I do think if he played 38 games, he should get 20 league goals. But I don't really have a leg to stand on based on how he's been at this club for as good as I think he's been. He's obviously had injuries. There's times he's subbed and all of these things, but we've got to call a spade at times, people. Would there be the confidence that he's the man to take it forward? I mean, the pros of him is that obviously I think it gives us good options. Like I just said, 2 strikers, and some wingers in the side gives us options to move forward with. He's got a year left on the contract then, Aubameyang, so potentially sell Aubameyang, 70-odd million add to the kitty. You invest in either directly up front or other areas, or you persist with Lacazette while you give yourself a year or so to find that significant contract player to take the club long term, while he's still got a year left on his contract. If he signs on, great. If he doesn't, move him on. So obviously, regardless of what I said about big games, I believe Lacazette's a big game player. When I just stop looking and critiquing my own bias, I think he's a big game player. I think he's got good hold-up play. I think his technical abilities, I think sometimes I don't think his creativity is as mad as people go on about, but I don't think stats do him justice. A part of that is obviously his own fault because he's not getting the goals and whatnot, and the top players got to get that. At the end of the day, if Lacazette got 20 league goals, there's no reason that Deschamps can keep him out of that French side. I know he loves Giroud, but as much as I think Lacazette should play for France ahead of Giroud, regardless of Giroud winning World Cup and having different strengths, he's not really got a leg to stand on, really, to a fair degree. But I think he's a good player. He's got elite mentality, big games. He's of the captaincy thing. I think he can chip in vital moments. When he has scored goals, he has popped in with some decent goals and whatnot. Spurs the other day and whatnot. He should have scored against Leicester, had about 4. But I like Lacazette. I got a lot of time for Lacazette, man. One of my favourite players. And you can see a lot of bias coming out. But when I look at the cons, people, as I've said, 20 league goals. Top striker, you have to get 20 league goals. It is what it is, people. You take Salah and you take. I don't know how many goals Firmino has, people, but if you was to take Salah and Thingy out of that, Salah and Mane out of that team, would Firmino be able to continue it? That's what I'm saying with Lacazette. They're good players, but goals have to come into it. You get what I'm saying, people? 20 league goals. Do we have the confidence that if Aubameyang got injured significantly, touch some sort of wood, he'd be the man to take it forward? I'm not too sure. Is his playmaking necessarily that great? I do think he is. He's not slow, but he's not blisteringly slow, but he's not exactly quick. So I think his hold-up play is very good, but I do think his lack of pace in a team where we want to be counter-attacking and stuff, it could be a bit better. But saying that, he makes quick decisions and he does do the counter-attacking thing. I'm just trying to be fair in my pros and cons, people. like I said, there is the case of getting rid of one of the strikers, bringing in a goal-scoring winger, seeing what Pepe can do in terms of long-term development and moving forward from there, people. I really just wanted to ask you, would you sell him? And I say I wouldn't want to sell him unless him and Aubameyang have no intention of signing new deals. I would keep Lacazette, man. I'd keep both of them. He's 28, he's 30. Aubameyang's 30. I think we can address other areas of the side and invest and ride with these strikers who are getting on a bit for a couple of years, while long-term identifying the next striker or strikers to take us forward, whether that's the homegrown lot in Balogun with good potential, Tyrese, John Jules, Eddie and Kete are out on Leeds, or we saw somebody in. That's for another day, people. But for now, people, deluded, I'm out.